You are now listening to Out of the Blank.
Welcome, audience, to another episode of Out of the Blank podcast. How do you like that name, Nate?
Oh, I love it, brother.
You know why I call it Out of the Blank?
No, why?
Because I'm having these conversations with people, and I'm such a random individual, and the people everything's different, so we can talk about aliens, we can talk about whatever you want.
Oh, Jesus, man.
But to set the basis here, I am here with Nate Bowers. What do you do as a career?
And kind of two things. Like, main job for the, money and everything, I do expo over at a place called Full Moon, but also play music on the side and make the extra money.
Now, when you say expo, what is that?
Expedite. It's like the last step in the kitchen of any restaurant. Like, they're the people who make the plate look pretty, send it, or, get the servers to pick it up and take it out to the people type deal.
That's not like something you truly want to obviously delve into a little bit more. You're just kind of doing that to get you through what you're kind of...
Exactly. Just
pay the bills.
Pretty much. It pays the bills. It does what, it just gets the money in. But the passion's always music.
Passion's always music. All right, cool. Because that's something I can relate to with my family being musically inclined.
Oh, yeah. Your brother, Marla, all of them.
Obviously, down here, everyone is it seems like this is like a music town, mostly just because of the cultures around here. It's like bar scenes and all this. It's like the average place for a startup for a musician if you're really going to try and make it somewhere.
Oh, definitely.
But what was your inspirational passage? Did that come, was that something you always had as a little kid, like want to be a rock star, or was it like, I know your dad's a drum or a bass player, so it's like, was the music influence from him? Because it seems like a lot of what develops a person's like characteristics through life, it's human imprinting.
Yeah, pretty much, growing up, me and my brother both, we would always go to my dad's band practices as, young little kids running around wreaking havoc and everything. But it was always, my dad and my two uncles and everything, so a huge inspiration. And then, as years progressed, my dad was always trying to get me and my brother to play music. Got us an acoustic guitar and everything when we were like 7 years old. Didn't know how to play a lick of it. We thought we were, just strumming along, just having fun with it. Then later on in the years, really developed to, wanting to pick it up and learn it for real. And around like the age of 12, 13 years old, saved up enough money and got a little crappy Walmart guitar. Like those First Act guitars.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Those are god-awful guitars, in my opinion, but...
It's like buying a Walmart skateboard. It's basically just wood.
Exactly.
And it's not even the good wood. It's like the stuff you get.
It's like balsa wood or
Yeah.
something.
Balsa wood's actually pretty good, I think. I think it's more like that cardboard wood where you like bang on the ground and the board doesn't bounce, especially with like a skateboard.
Mm-hmm.
My first instrument from Walmart, I did buy a Walmart instrument, was a keyboard, and the second one was an accordion because I wanted an accordion.
What?
They sold an accordion, and I was playing it in the store. My grandfather was like, "How much is it?" I'm like, "It's like $15." He's like, "I'm gonna get you that just because I know it's gonna piss off your brother." I'm like, "Yes."
Perfect. Yeah, dude, like those Walmart guitars, or just any instruments, they're not the best quality, obviously. I mean, it's Walmart. But it definitely got me, to start learning how to play and figuring out little methods and everything.
It's the baby steps. It's
Exactly.
the training wheels, basically. I mean, it's to see if the kid wants to stick with it and actually enjoys doing that. And I mean, when it comes to playing guitar, now, is that the instrument you wanted in the beginning? Was that the one you wanted? What was the main instrument you really wanted to dive into?
Honestly, whatever I could get my hands on when I was that young.
Oh, you're that into music where it's like...
I just want to try everything. Like, try to do like little keyboards and stuff like that too. Guitar, bass. I was also trying to do drums, but my dad was like, no. We need something that has, volume knob for you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, pretty much any kind of instrument, but just guitar just felt natural. Like, out of everything else I tried to, like, dive into, guitar just felt like, I don't know, it was like breathing in a sense. Like, it just felt right.
And that's cool that you have that, because, like, my family having this, like, giant, passion for it, and me not having it as much, I feel like I'm more connected with my words in a way. just because I can't, when it comes to playing an instrument, if you tell me what to hit, I can do it. I can do a memorization and like learning it and like getting in like a pattern type thing. But when it comes to writing it, I don't find I don't find I have the really talent to create up with the creative passion or inspiration really to music wise. I feel like my more reach is with my words and speaking. Like obviously for you probably I even love the writing down or the writing process of making music and creating something. But I think I like the idea of creation in general.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The spark of having like anything that you write, anything you think of, anything you say, any words you reach for, any sentence you do, it's creating it. It's now written in stone. Everything I'm saying is being, even if it's been said before, it's using multiple different words and things that my brain is thinking up. I think that's like awesome. It's like having a furnace and then you're constantly feeding it. It's like it's creating something, whether it's art, you're looking at architecture, all these beautiful buildings, nature is the world is one giant art piece, and like it's like that's, I don't want to get corny, but that stupid canvas thing, or the stupid motto or saying where the world's your canvas, paint it how you want. But it's like that's for real what it is, and a lot of people don't even take the grasp to realize like we're all living in one giant art piece, basically.
Pretty much, my man. And that's how, like, I don't know, everyone should just view it. Well, regardless of what your talent may be, like, some people, actually do, like, doing art, like, drawing pictures. Like, for you, it's, these podcasts, articulating your words and everything. And then there's people who like music. Like, it's all part of the same giant canvas, I guess you would say.
Much like how people like to express their emotions in their work, like creative, like mind and genius, when it's writing, drawing, producing music. When you listen to music, I know you probably see it how I see it, where I'm looking at it. I don't see if a song is good. I don't see if a song is bad. I see the work that was put into it, and like it's someone's emotion, feelings. It's how they can make you feel in a certain song. What's a song for you that you can think of where it'll get you pumped up, or it'll get you like in a mood like, yes.
That's an easy question, man. Pink Floyd, Shine On You Crazy Diamond, dude. I mean, it's a long freaking song, 13 minutes long, but every aspect...
That's most of Pink Floyd.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But that song in particular, like, it's just beautiful work of art. Like, it starts off, like, very quiet, mellow, then builds into, like, this whole symphony style, like, towards the middle, then calms you right back down there.
Yeah. It takes you on a roller coaster ride, basically.
It really does, man.
It's a lot of people, like, they're always like, oh, you don't really get the true inspiration of music unless you're like, you're high, or you're... Why can't you be high on life and be enjoying the song, dude? I've had a song where I'm driving home pissed off or something stupid that got me upset throughout the day, and then I just hear, like one song I can say, The Expendables, Music Move Me. It's about... turning up the, windows up, speakers up, windows down, dancing in the living room like nobody's around. Like, those types of lyrics, not even if you're listening to the lyrics. I've heard, I take a music appreciation class this semester, and, like, it's at 9 a.m., early as crap, and he's playing all these music, like, there was, like, this one that was nothing but chopped up video game mixes. Even though it's not, like... From like 90s classic games like Arcadia and Donkey Kong, like dun 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 dun, and then the Super Mario theme, nice. But it's like all technoed out too. And I'm like, even though this isn't something I'd be like, I don't need to listen to that, I'm enjoying it because I'm like,
it's different.
Someone made this.
Exactly.
Someone took the time to, this is someone's creative art. I see like, it's like when you see a craftsman making something, that's something that came out of their mind, and they found a way to do it. It's a lot of people are like, oh, that music sucks. I don't think any music sucks.
It all depends on your, perspective of it.
Obviously, the music wasn't meant for me if I don't like it. It's meant for somebody else. Someone else is going to be like, that's my favorite song. I'm like, you like the Wiggles intro?
Hey, man, don't be dissing the Wiggles.
Don't diss the Wiggles.
Come on, man, that's our childhood.
But it's like, even after a while, Sesame Street, the theme song gets, it upsets me a little bit. Like, I have a little nephew, and he's listening to, like, Barney sing the same thing. Oh, I love you, you love me. I'm like, oh my God. Like, does he know another lyric? Or is it that one? Is the tape stuck in the player and it's on repeat?
It's just on loop, brother.
And it's like, oh, he loves it. I'm like, yep, that's obviously not meant for me, but it's not like I'm against it. I understand, like, you know, it just depends on how you want to look at everything, which is how you want to really look at the world. And the fact that you got, you know, you're listening to Pink Floyd. I mean, have you ever experienced into the drug side? Obviously, we all have delved into it. But what's the farthest you've really gone?
The farthest I've really gone is, you know, like psychedelics and everything, like some shrooms, acids.
Do you enjoy those?
It's very rare when, you know, I go out and, you know.
Well, I'm not saying you're an avid user.
Oh,
obviously,
yeah.
None of us do anything illegal. But at the same time, like, you know, I would never try marijuana.
Never.
But, like, I'm just interested because, like, I did notice, like, it's not saying I needed it to understand the music, but it gives you another perspective on life in a way.
It really does. Especially when, you know, psychedelic music like that. Like, if you dabble into that stuff, I ain't sitting there saying, hey, go out, buy some shrooms, trip, and all that stuff. No. But it does give you a different aspect of, like, the whole, like, you feel a little different about the song, regardless of what music it is, actually.
It doesn't have to just be about music either.
Oh, yeah, it could be anything. Artwork, a
Especially
movie.
when you're tripping on shrooms, the world takes you probably on a little ride. I've never done any acid or anything like that. Just because my mind, I always felt like at the time would always go to bad thoughts and things like that. I'm like, you can't do that. It reminds me of the movie Dewey Cox where he gets chopped in half with a machete.
Oh,
he's tripping
exactly.
He's tripping LSD with the Beatles. I'm like, yeah, my mind couldn't throw me into the Beatles realm. It would throw me into some dark spiral. I'm like,
well, as long as you're still in a trippy cartoon scene, I guess it's all right.
Exactly, right?
But no, like, yeah, I agree with you on that. Like, if you feel like you descend like more into darker thoughts, obviously don't try to, you know, do mind altering stuff because that's how people get really messed up.
Well, I believe it's like, you know, a lot of people say, like, if you're going to smoke pot or something, you want to wait till your brain's fully developed and all this stuff.
Yeah, around the
That
age
is
25.
true because, like, I did it at a young age and stuff, and I started to realize now, like, there's certain stuff that's still lingering, even though I haven't done it in a while. And it's not, I don't have anything against it, but it's like a lot of drugs like that have like a ton of, like, it's like peyote and all that type of stuff.
Oh.
I'm not comparing those together,
Exactly.
but I'm saying, like, they're meant to, you know, change your passions. It feels like it's meant to kind of release your inner demons in a way, or like come to light some things. Especially with pot, a lot of people are like, I realize this, and on DMT, a lot of people are like, I realize this, and it's like the same thing. You can get that same damn feeling from having a moment in your life where you're like, everything's awesome. Like,
exactly. You don't need drugs for that. Like, you can walk outside, like right now, like, yeah, it's cold, but if you walk outside and just look at the surrounding nature, it's enough to, you know, kind of give you that high on life feeling. But right now, you know, it's freezing, so don't go outside and just stand there for like 3 hours looking at a tree. Don't do that.
Yeah, wear a jacket if you are going to, though. Like, I mean, you could stare at the sun for a while, too. It's going to hurt. You're going to be seeing spots afterwards, depending on how long you stare. But it's like, when I'm focused on, like, this is a good question I always ask everyone, and I'm glad we kind of got to it right off the bat, too. And it's, have you ever had a transcendental moment or like an epiphany type moment? It's like a moment in your life where you're like, everything kind of becomes clear, and you've had it multiple times in your life, actually. Like, I can experience it when I just go outside with a nice coffee, and you feel the coldness in the air, but taking the time to be like, like, just take a deep breath and feel that cold air hit your lungs. And then, like, in my mind, I picture my lungs and just filling up with, like, that Icebreakers commercial, like, it's ice. Like, moments like that, like, when I'm, like, kind of upset or not feeling well and I'm driving or something, and I'm just like, I need something to think about. I just think back that moment and I kind of relax and be like, everything's all right.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't even take the, you know, drugs to do, or, you know, to feel that type of way. There's been multiple times, you know, you wake up and you just, you know, when you had that calmness and everything, not even necessarily go outside, you just wake up and you're just in a kind of a state of zen from, you know, being rested and everything, and you just take that one deep breath and you just feel everything's good. Everything will be okay today.
If you can have more moments of that in your life, I believe the world will be a hell of a lot less stressful. Not on you, but on
everybody.
Everyone that's around you, basically.
Amen to that.
When you come out with a certain calmness, like we both have this calm vibe right now, You know, you can probably sense that in the room. Someone came in here like, yo, these two are
They're just
about
chilling.
to. Yeah, they're chilling, and you know their minds are flowing right now. We got one drinking Monster and one drinking coffee. It's like,
Well, all that caffeine, brother. Come on now.
yeah, right. But it's like, you know, we're all like in a society. I feel like we're all like walking around with blinders on a little bit. I've talked about it multiple times, but like, I'm real interested in one of my hobbies, like topics and stuff now, is like I like looking into psychology a little bit more. I'm feeling like that's more of my passion of what I want to delve into. Obviously, your passion's got to be music in a way.
Oh, yeah.
It's always that. Is that something you want to do? Like you want to be a rock star? Is that? No, I'm not. I know that sounds like I'm making fun of it or I'm poking at it in a way, but it's not. It's I understand it because I know people that want to do that, and that's their everything they want to take like stepwise is for that. Going out to gigs at 2 a.m, calling people, setting things up, getting rejections, putting their flyers up or putting stickers up around town, sticker bombing and all that.
Yeah. As far as like the cliche rock star, that's not mainly what I try to go for. Like, if the music could pay the bills, that would be awesome. But that whole, rock star life, that 28, about hit 30, like, in 2 years and stuff like that. Again, I'm already feeling too old for that stuff. It's just, that's a young man's game at this point in time. Like, the band...
I wouldn't say music's a young man's game, because you got Mick Jagger up there looking like a lady's purse, but he's dancing like a mofo.
Oh, yeah, but he's also been doing it since he was a young man.
Yeah,
so, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's already, he's... freaking Mick Jagger. Okay, he could do whatever he wants.
You can't compare yourself to a Steven Tyler or someone like that. I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying, it's a lot easier to develop music back then than I think it is compared to now.
Oh yeah, there's so much competition.
So much shit is out here now.
It's
ridiculous. But by shit, I just mean so much stuff. There's so much volume of everything. Like, you always think of, like, what are they going to think of next? They already thought of this. They already thought of that. They already thought of this. Like, there's nothing else to think of. And the next thing you know, there's 5 things. You're like, how did I ever live without this? You're like, who keeps coming up with more shit? Elon Musk, obviously. But, like, music-wise, there's so much being created. And it's still ever growing. But it's like, with the trends and all this stuff that we're dealing with, it's like, I feel like, in a way, everything's getting thrown back into society, and everything's getting tossed out and turned into something new.
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing either, because you gotta figure, the old saying, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just because something's not broken doesn't mean it cannot be enhanced
or improved. Yeah,
exactly. So that's what most of this music, like, not just music, but like everything's pretty much already been done. Now we're at that stage where we're just trying to take it to the next level. Try to get a little better.
Society's obsessed with advancing. We've always been like that. Same thing. Why they'll never stop being progression.
No,
they'll never stop being war. They'll never stop being anything like that. Because society, whether it's male or female characteristics, we all have this genetic, installed in our DNA, like biological factor, where we just want to grow. We just want to be doing all this stuff. Like, we constantly want to improve everything. We see something, we don't see that as being perfect. We see the flaws, but we notice that we can also improve on them in a way too.
Exactly.
It's funny how you can compare, technology, how we've gotten to these giant big ass phones, from small phones like little handheld ones to how they were before that, when they were the big things like microwaves that you didn't want to stick up to the side of your head because of radiation.
Exactly, not your brain right out of your ears.
It's like we're throwing it back. We're bringing things from big to small to big again.
Well, that's because we discovered we can watch porn on these things.
Yeah, and play video games. I mean, how many people have probably Angry Birds or something downloaded on their phone and they just sit at work and play that? Yeah, I'm guilty of it too. I think I've downloaded every version they have of it.
Hey, it's fun, man.
And
Screw them pigs.
Yeah, right. And it's fun. Like, it's just it's cool to think, like, just because there's one version of it, there's also multiple other versions out of it. Like, some people hear some music that some guy created, the original piece, the OP, you would say.
Exactly.
But then they see it and they're like, I'm going to remix it my way. And then they remix it, and then someone else finds that better than liking the original song. And you can't look at it as like, they're taking my music. Dude, they just made your music acceptable to someone that thought it was shit before.
Exactly.
Someone that didn't like it because it had a rock vibe to it, turned it into a techno vibe, and maybe it ruined the pure essence of what you're trying to make out of it, but isn't really the pure point of the music being like, hey, you know,
trying to advance
it's still you.
Exactly.
It's your words, it's your song, you created it, someone just took it and wrapped it in their own vision.
Now, as long as, the person who originally created it is getting
Gives the credit to it. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, that's all it should be about.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are about, oh, I want my money, but
Yeah.
if someone ever, say, like, songs I've made in the past, if someone ever found one and, I don't know, just, like, twisted it a little bit, like, I could care less about it if they make money off it. As long as I get the recognition, like, hey, he originally wrote this stuff. Deal.
Steven Tyler laid down, like, the music, like, the basically the corruption in the music industry, and you know how he got all those rock stars, like how they would sign these contracts on these labels and stuff, and they wouldn't get really any money out of any of the songs or money that was being...
Oh yeah, the record label would get it all.
But you know how they did it?
I couldn't tell you.
He laid it down. He said they drug them up, or they get them, like, drunk or something. They get them, like, doped up kind of in a way, so you just agree to it. Like, we're going to make you all this money, and you're not, this is what's going to happen. And then they're like, oh, yeah.
But the contracts say something completely different.
Well, yeah, that and the fact that they get the money that was promised, but they could be making way, way, way more. That company takes a big check.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just like how in the government, we have a death tax. When you die and you leave somebody money, Uncle Sam gets a piece of that.
Which is rude.
Which is messed up. Trump's actually trying to fix that where we don't have the death tax and all that. But it's like, at the same time, why? If I'm dying and leaving somebody like all my money, why should Uncle Sam have his greedy hands in his pocket? But Fat Daddy always wants a piece. Fat Daddy always wants a piece. And you gotta look at the record label, just like how we look at all those little banking cartoons, those political cartoons you see in newspapers.
Yeah.
The big fat guy, it's all bloated and he's got money like overflowing.
Sticking out of every like orifice of his body.
Yeah. That's how you gotta look at record labels too.
Mm-hmm.
There are some good ones out there, but a lot of them are bands. Like Slightly Stupid has their own record labels. Stupid Records.
Tool also has their own.
Exactly. It's like those bands that hire people and they're actually looking for the essence of music. Slightly Stupid got started when Bradley Nowell went to their high school. The singer of Sublime went to their high school and found those two. One of the Slightly Stupid singers is actually both of them, the main ones, Kyle and Miles, are both wrestling coaches.
Really?
At a high school. Oh. Imagine you're wrestling some dude and next thing you know, your freaking coach is the singer to Slightly Stupid, a famous reggae band that's known for smoking massive amounts of pot on stage.
And somehow still able to, work at a school.
That's probably the one wrestling team that doesn't have to take a piss test.
Well, they probably do. They just exclude one variant.
Yeah.
Everything else is like...
This is our elite athlete. Give him straight A's and he pisses like water, Aquafina.
Wink, wink.
But it's crazy to think about how, first of all, we got off on a huge tangent on the fact that sport athletes, there are definitely those kids that get straight A's because of how good they play. You can't tell me that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
At the same time, when you're looking at how, record label companies and all these, everybody wants it. It seems like the government, the world feels like it's corrupt in a way, but you can't look at it like that. There are good outlets to it, man. Like when you turn on the news and you're always seeing bad stuff, there's always that one little light you kind of got to look for where it's like something good happened in the day, like a baby was saved or something.
Exactly. A person got a cat out of tree type deal. It's pretty much yin and yang at that point. But the media and all that stuff, they thrive off, scaring the hell out of you. That's what they do. For some reason, we're drawn to, the screwed up nature, and we're just like, I don't know, you turn on the news, it was like 14 babies shot in the face. It's like, what the hell happened? But if you hear, something positive, you turn away from it. It's kind of a weird psychological thing that we, as humans, we just love chaos for some reason. Everyone tries to, say, oh, no, I want peace, It's like, yeah, but if you saw that news title, you will be glued to your damn TV
Well, like I said, what do humans love to do? We love to build, create,
and destroy.
well, yeah, we like to build, destroy, and then we like keep doing that over and over again. We're stuck in a cycle and a loop. We've done it multiple times, you know.
For centuries.
It reminds me of the scene from Futurama where like it's the year 2000 and then he gets frozen and then it goes 1,000 years into the future and you're seeing the aliens came, destroyed everything. Mankind built it back up again in the old way, then destroyed it, and built it up with skyscrapers, and then aliens came back again, destroyed it all over again. Doesn't matter if it's the world or if it's an extraterrestrial being or if it's ourselves that destroy ourselves. Mankind is forced to be on this never-ending loop. You know, they say that when the dinosaurs died out, you know, the meteor and all that type stuff, there was a ringing on this earth for 1 million years. Like a ringing. Imagine a constant hum. Just constant dong.
Just sitting there, like,
because
make you lose
the
your
earth
mind.
got hit so hard, it literally cracked.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that.
That's just ridiculous.
It
to
rang.
cause that much rain for a mill.
Like seriously, imagine if you were alive and that shit was happening. Like, oh my god. You could probably end up getting so used to it, but it's like...
You'll be deaf for the rest of your life.
Maybe that was the first music.
The first note.
The first
I wonder
note.
if it was an A or a C.
I wonder what the freaking note of the earth being shattered and cracked was.
We're going to have to smoke on that one later.
Yeah, right.
We'll figure that one
Put it
out.
on the
That'll
toke.
be next time.
Put it on the toke list.
There we go.
Yeah, but it's like when you think, it's like, you know, all the countries that we are all divided in some way. It's like we were all connected at one point called Pangea,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Exactly.
suddenly just all separated.
Hey, man, like, that's how, like, all the continents, if you put them all together, is really like a damn puzzle piece. It's kind of crazy that way.
And that's the same process with creating music.
Amen to that.
I can't tell if we're on a mental journey right now, and we're just taking all these people into like realizations. Like, all they're doing is stating facts, but it's so true.
It's like, why are we still listening to this?
Why am I alive? No, but it's like it's crazy, man. Like just listening to a song and hearing like the guitar's a puzzle piece, the drums are a puzzle piece, you know, and it's everyone's throwing their. I like to think of it like everyone's a chef. And you're all on stage, and the stage is your kitchen. And what you're doing is the audience is your taste tester. For a restaurant, I'm going to use this metaphor for you.
There we go.
So it's like you're all throwing your own spice in the mix, and you all come up with this dish, and you got to make sure that not at the same time that you enjoy it, but at the same time, if you don't enjoy it, your audience isn't going to enjoy it.
Exactly.
If you're not vibing on stage, you're not having fun.
Like, you got a scowl on your face the entire time, looking like you'd rather be anywhere else.
You can sense the tension. Like, I interviewed a band recently, the Swell Fellas, and
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to them about, you know, vibing together, and you got to bring that on stage with you, too. You can't just, you know, if you're in a band, like, if you noticed the documentary for Red Hot Chili Peppers on their album Stadium Arcadium, like, you could sense there was, you know, tension between Anthony Kiedis, especially when you see live at the Slane Castle, the DVD, when they played at Slane Castle. There was tension on stage that you could sense between John Frusciante and Anthony Kiedis, and then not even a couple months later it comes out that, you know, John left because of Anthony, couldn't handle any more of his bullshit, and it's like all this stuff, and it's like there was drama on both ends. But in the Stadium Arcadium documentary, it was John sitting with Chad, and then Flea sitting with Anthony. Like, they were separated. They weren't all in the same room talking. They were all in different rooms explaining different songs on the track and everything.
Because they had to be separated at that point because it just couldn't.
Well, it's like when you have that little drama right there and you bring it out on stage, you can still sense it. Even though they both kind of tried to hide it pretty well on stage, you could tell someone was, like, the tension's there. You can sense that. Now, I'm saying if you go into a gig, you're about to go up on stage, play guitar, but you're having problems with the drummer.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if he decides in the middle of the thing to skip a note or do something or speed it up a little bit, and next thing you know, you're trying to keep up and messing up all over the place, and the audience is getting a bad reaction of the music.
Well, pretty much when that type of issue happens, you just gotta roll with it. Like, it's that old saying.
Yeah, you gotta vibe it out, but it's still like, after that concert, you're either gonna be like, hey man, what the fuck? Or you're gonna be like, you know, whatever, you're going to try and ignore it. And then what happens if it happens again, man? Then you got to think about kicking the person out. But it's like, besides having your ducks in a row, like your inner, you know, harmony type deal, you got to have an inner harmony with the band. And also, you got to figure out what everyone's goal is, too.
Exactly.
If there's 4 members of a band, and one wants to be famous, one wants to just write music, one wants to make as much money as possible, and the other one doesn't really care. He's just doing it for the chicks or something. It's like, you all have different outlets. This isn't going to last. That's why bands break up. You all need to sit down and understand, like, who's going for what and what's going for what, and what are we going to do to accomplish this? Is this going to be a problem down the road, or is this going to be something that we can manage? And also, like, I don't believe that you should be managing it. I believe you should be having fun. I mean, like, you know, it seems like the bands that long-lasting and end up instilling, like, into society's life and, like, basically blueprint is, like, people that enjoyed the music. Whether you all want to trip out in the garage, turn on the headphones, look upside down at some records or something, and
start playing them backwards
vibe,
and shit.
yeah, vibe out to the room and shit. It's like, you know, having your feet up on the wall. We've all done that at some point. Like, we all had our feet up on the wall with headphones on, listening to music upside down in our bed or something. It's those nights, especially when you're home alone and you have just the light on in your bedroom, and then
and the
you're
music
listening.
playing.
Yeah, you're just blasting music, you know, AC/DC, Thunderstruck, or something to get you in a freaking pumped up mood where you just want to start, you know, your parents come home. Why are there holes all over the wall? Be like, I got pumped.
I was listening to AC/DC, Mom. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all right, understood. Especially in you're in a music household, they understand that one.
Exactly, but don't try, you know, listen to that stuff that pumps you up, start driving, go 100 miles an hour because of copying on them. Those memes ain't real.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, when you think about it, like, it's crazy how music, someone can express their mood through just song and notes in general. Some people, you know, are like me. They can express their, you know, emotion through words and music. And, you know, if I'm angry, I'm not going to, you know, throw myself out saying I am angry and all this and start screaming and shouting, because I just don't believe that's right to do to somebody else.
No, never.
But when it comes to, like, how some person can be amazing at speech and then another person's really musically talented. You know, they're showing emotion through two different things. And then someone that's really good at writing. They can't talk, they can't think of music and all this, but they can sit down and write books and books and books. And you're like, I would have never known this about this person. I had a person on my podcast named Tyler Horton, and I think he was episode 15, and he was talking to me about how it was so hard for people to get a word out of his dad. It was hard for him to get a word out of his dad. But his dad's an accomplished writer, like, has wrote multiple books. And he's like, as soon as you sit my dad down in front of a piece of paper and a pencil, he could just write. And, like,
you can feel everything that he's feeling.
You would see, like, you know, some people express it better than words. It's when you see a lot of people that are mute and refuse to talk, and they write stuff down, and then they can write down, like, paragraphs and paragraphs, you know. It's the same reason, I don't know how, unless you're using the voice speak on your phone, but you're trying to text somebody like a message, and they text like 30 paragraphs by the time you do one, and you're like, what the hell?
Exactly,
like, you can express your words like that, but when we're trying to talk face to face, you're like shy and you don't really say much. It's like,
well, what was that? There's a word, like there's introverts or something like that.
I used to be introvert when I graduated high school. I was bullied really bad for being overweight and stuff, which got my main passion into the gym, which I thought that was the passion I wanted to pursue in life. I wanted to be a personal trainer and, like, you know, do that.
Help people out with, you know, their whatever issues they're feeling, whether it be weight, self-esteem, like personal trainer, they can help out.
I thought I wanted to be helpful in that way. But I used to think for the longest time I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be on TV. But I'm starting to realize now, it's like, I've said it multiple times on my podcast, but it's like, I want to leave a mark, and I don't want it to be a bad one. I want it to be a good one where someone remembers me, whether it's like a couple people or a lot of people. I don't really need, you know, it's like that one song, what's it? No One Will Die, or no One Will Cry at My Funeral, or something like that.
6 a.m. I think that's what it is. Yeah, with Nikki Sixx.
Do you swear on your life that no one will cry?
Yeah, I know exactly what song you're talking about. That was a good jam, too.
It's like, shit, it's like, when you think of that song, like, I don't want anybody upset, you know, when I do go, but I don't want to leave this world feeling like I haven't scratched the surface of what I could leave behind. If someone, it doesn't matter if this podcast even gets popular. It's recorded now, it's in history. This conversation has happened. These words that have happened have been instilled in stone. It's a thing. There might be someone out here, like, I might die at 40 and not get famous or something, and next thing I know, some kid 100 years from now is just playing, that whole generation is listening to all my podcasts I've ever recorded. Like, oh my God, this guy was the smartest dude in the world, or he was just a complete dumbass and just, like, laughing at me. Doesn't matter.
Still popular.
Yeah, it's out there. I got them views, dog.
There you go, bro.
Whether you liked it or not, it's like, I just don't want to. I don't want to like leave nothing behind. Like when a lot of people associate my name with the Canadian artist Robbie Robertson, the guitar player. He just got nominated, or not Canadian, I think he's American, but he just got nominated. My mom's friend sent me a message on Facebook, congratulations. I was like, what? And I clicked it, and it's a link. He got nominated for an Emmy or some Canadian type award, and it said Robbie Robertson inducted to the. I was like, oh my god! Like,
it's like I'm famous.
About time.
I've been working at this forever.
You type in Robbie Robertson on Google, you get this guy like professional photograph, like guitar photos and stuff, and then you get like one MySpace picture of me, like at the way bottom,
crap!
Like
going
1,000.
MySpace.
Yeah, going back to the days.
Oh god, those are the good old days.
The original Instagram and Facebook.
For real. Oh my god, I missed.
That's where podcasting took off. Did you know that?
Over on MySpace?
Bill Burr and all those guys, those famous comedians, had podcasts on there.
On MySpace days?
Yeah, isn't that nuts? Wow. They had a show.
I know Bill Burr, like he jumped on the Netflix thing quick.
It wasn't. I don't think it was called podcasting. It was something like a 30-minute segment or something.
But that's what eventually evolved into what is now a podcast.
You know what's crazy is I thought my podcast influence, like, because I listen to it, like, it's like 3 hours long, like almost every episode, and it's just cool, is Joe Rogan. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a big thing. I've seen all his episodes and everything. It's not that at all. I found out a podcast I haven't even really started listening to yet. It's by Christopher Ryan. And
does that name sound familiar?
Yeah, I know. It sounds familiar to me, too. I don't know. I've only listened to him on Joe Rogan's podcast, but he was talking about how, Joe Rogan has a studio, which eventually I want to have. I want to have a studio. But I like the idea of a mobile recorder. I can take this on the go.
Anywhere.
And I've started thinking about it, like on days I can't sleep or days I feel like going out and doing something, either if I haven't done anything all day or something. I can take this out and just start viewing people. Because I like I've said it before, everyone's got a story to tell, whether it's good or bad. And, I've had people on here before. I don't know if I'm going to be a good interview. It's not an interview.
No, we're just talking.
We're going to shoot the shit. That's what it is.
Exactly.
And it's hard to explain that to some people that aren't really like level-minded on a lot of things, like really down-to-earth type people. Like you understood it. Mm-hmm. But it's like there's a lot of people like, I'm not good at interviews. And it's like, no, it's not that. And then they get here like, do you have questions lined up? It's not that. There's no questions. You're shooting the shit with Robbie. Like, that should just be my motto. I'm going to get it painted on the wall. Like,
shoot the shit.
Yeah, let's shoot the shit. Or, crack that cookie.
There you go.
Everyone's a fortune cookie. And it's like, it's crazy because, we're all unlocking mysteries. And everyone's like, what is it, like therapy? I'm like, no, it's not. I mean, it's
it
like
could be. You never
it's
know.
a type of therapy too, but what do you define as therapy? Music in a way is therapy.
Exactly. Drawing a picture could be
music for years has been played in classrooms to younger ages to help them wind down or get ready for AKA nap time. Like, there's certain types of songs that invoke certain types of emotions and reactions to our brain.
Exactly.
It's how our brain, first of all, when you're listening to music, your brain's releasing chemicals like dopamine and all this shit that can get experienced with tripping and also side effects of like marijuana, or you get a calmness feeling. It's that type of thing. It's a relief.
Exactly.
That's what you get. But you get that from a lot of things,
Just
taking a hot-ass shower,
That too.
Taking a cold one brings out a whole opposite side effect. Yeah, like you ever take an ice bath before?
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
That's a common thing with drummers. They stick their arms in buckets of ice.
Well, you gotta figure those suckers, like real good drummers and everything, they're constantly going at it.
I remember my dad telling me stories about that. He was like, I used to stick my arms in buckets of ice. I was like, I only saw that on the movie Game Day after those football players would hop in those ice baths because their body was needed to be cooled down. I was like, screw that. I'd rather be hot as shit than cold as hell.
Exactly, man. The first time I ever saw somebody do that, it was back when I used to watch, wrestling, WWE. I think it was actually WWF at this time, before, you get the F out, all that crap. But it was Brock Lesnar.
World Women's Federation?
Yeah, World Women's Federation. No, like The Rock, Stone Cold, all that crazy crap. But it was the SummerSlam, like, pay-per-view build-up thing. And for some reason, I saw a magazine, like, at I think of, like, local Food Line or some crap like that. It was, like, WWE SummerSlam issue. Picked it up, and they were doing interviews with Brock Lesnar and what he does and everything, and had like pictures of his workout and everything. You see him like run on the beach with these giant like weights, on his leg. But then after every workout, he jumps into a giant tub of ice. I'm just like, why? Why would you do that to your body? So I was like, screw it, I won't try it. Yeah, I'm never doing it again.
It's like taking the polar plunge, man.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
we've all experienced this, and it's either going to bring you an extreme amount of anxiety when I say it. When you hop in the shower thinking that it's warm and it's not, and that cold water hits you, and you do the dance to the back of the shower to get away from the water. As
But you
fast
can't
as
get away.
possible. Yeah.
You're trapped.
Or you're fucking like grabbing the nozzle trying to turn it to hot as fast as possible. Like turn it all the way over. The next thing you know, it's too hot, and you're like, ah, shit, and you try to bring it back to like a nice, cool medium. We've all been over at a friend's house.
And don't know how to work their shower.
Don't know how to work their shower like it's some type of spaceship. We've all experienced that. That's when I'm like, can you teach me how this works? Like, you never used a shower before? No, I've used a shower, but, you know, my grandparents, if you turn, it's, you know how cold's to the right, warm's to the hot? At my grandparents' house, it was cold to the left, warm to the right.
Oh, damn, that would have screwed me up.
Yo, every time I took a shower up there during the summer, I didn't get it until like the very end. Like, that's how you got to do it. And it's like at my other grandparents' house, if you go all, like, you know how you lift the thing all the way up and it goes, like, I guess push it up forward, it turns the shower coming up from the top, and then it's the pressure that comes out, basically. Well, theirs was, if you go forwards, it gets hot. If you go back, it gets cold. So I always thought, like, okay, and I did that, and then turned it to the left, thinking that's, you know, it's going to just warm the shower up. Hell no, I hopped in that thing, I thought my skin was burning. I was like, ah.
It's like too hot. You felt like a lobster getting boiled.
All I could hear was the song by Sean Paul, Temperature. You ever hear that song?
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Girl in your girl, I want to be keeping you on. I was like, this shower or fire burning by Sean Kingston. You gotta understand, I grew up in that generation. It's gonna be a little bit different
hey, it's
gap.
all
in
good,
that.
man. You gotta figure my girl, she's only like 24, so it's all good.
But it's funny because I played games a lot, like growing up, and it was like I play Fallout. I don't know if you know what that is, like an apocalyptic game. Nothing but old music in there. Sinatra. I have an Ink Spots vinyl record in my room right now because I go to thrift stores and I see the vinyl records for 25 cents.
Exactly.
This masterpiece was 25 cents. Either Ink Spots, Frank Sinatra, Johnny Cash. I'm flipping through them suckers. Here's $5. Bam. What else am I going to do with that $5? Go buy a gumball or something? Everything else is too damn expensive.
Exactly. But you can find a record for 25 cents. It's like, that's gold. Like back in the day, that shit cost real money. Dude. And nowadays you can get it for basically a hay penny.
When if you have a day off, like Thursday, I'll come drive and pick you up. We should go thrift shopping, dude. I'm telling you, man, we can do that shit early. We can do it later in the day. But dude, you can find some, if you like getting some nice vinyl records. I found a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon record for fucking $1.25, man. I shit you not, dude. I gave it to my buddy as a gift.
Dude, that's freaking awesome.
And you know Marty Robbins, that one song, he plays a song Big Iron.
I don't think I'm familiar with that one.
You know, there's a sheriff in the town with a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Plays in Fallout Vegas. I was playing that song. My grandma was like, how the hell do you know this song? I was like, it's Marty Robbins. She goes, you don't understand. This is like my type of music. I'm like, so I'm cultured. Like when it comes down to rap, when it comes down to all this stuff, even though I don't listen to a whole lot of the new rap because in my mind it's just not
crap.
Yeah, but like I said, it's not my flavor.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, when music gets so overproduced, it's studio quality. It's like, I understand it comes out of the mind and it's not that, but like, you know, I still enjoy the essence of I enjoy the originality and sitting down, like in the old days where they used to sit down and you hear the stories of the famous rock stars like Ted Nugent and all these people that talk about like, you know, sitting down in the basement, locking themselves. No one's allowed to leave until we get this song written. You know, either you do your rituals with your band. It's not just a connection to the music and not just getting down to the primal element of creating something, but the fact that, like, you're creating memories with your friends.
Exactly, dude.
When you guys are playing in the garage and you open up the garage and let, like, the neighborhood hear you, and whether they're screaming at you to turn it down or you get your neighbor that pulls out a lawn chair and sits down and starts listening with a beer in his hand. It's like you're all just jamming out, you know, strumming. We weren't playing for a specific purpose. We were just playing just to be loud and be heard. Next thing you know, you start getting, like,
recognized.
Fingers start finding a way to connect these notes. Your ears start tuning with the music. You're able to tune by ear instead of tuning with a machine. I guarantee you all the new guitarists out there, you ask them how do you tune your guitar? Either, you know, I use this auto tune. No, Yeah, that's easier
But
and
can
faster.
you actually harmonic
But
tune?
can you, like, a lot of people say, oh, I mean, if I get high first, it's like, why? Because you know why you need that? It's because you got to take the blinders off because you're so blinded to the open part of the world.
Exactly.
It's like when you if you drink a coffee and don't eat anything at like 2 a.m. or something, your mind's running hot. Your mind's like shit. Your mind's like aware of everything that's going on around you. And if you take a walk into the world, you're going to come to some realizational shit, just like if you were on a DMT trip. It's the same thing if you're up for 3 freaking days and you got this caffeine crack high, you know?
Exactly.
You're going to come to some realization of some real primal shit.
First of all, if anyone listens, don't stay up for 3 days straight. That's just bad for your mental health.
7 days, your brain shuts off.
Woo.
Apparently, and then that's when Freddy Krueger gets you. That's how Nightmare on Elm Street starts.
Makes sense right there, man.
He scared those kids so much they were afraid to go to sleep, and then their brain shut off, like, basically permanently. He had them in that dream world forever. That's always scared the shit out of me.
Well, man.
I should have listened to my parents when they said, go to bed, you're not old enough to watch this movie. Because then I'd sit there and hide around the corner watching it, and next thing I know, I'm like, what's... Like, you're afraid to step onto the floor because you think something's under your bed going to grab you? We've all done that.
Well, shoot, with Freddy Krueger, he can go from anywhere, man. He can come out of the damn wall, ceiling.
Stop. I'm 21 years old. I don't need to be looking under my bed or a closet. Or be afraid to look in a mirror.
Oh, man, come on. Freddy Krueger, he's my boy. We have tea parties every Sunday.
He's slightly well done, and by that I mean extra crispy.
Just a wee bit, you know.
A little bit toasty. Like a Hot Pocket. When you just get pissed off biting into it and it's cold, you just stick it in there for 10 minutes.
And then next thing you know, it's like nuclear hot, and it's like half your freaking mouth is destroyed.
What's one really good band experience that you've had? Like, either if it's taking a trip or a gig recently that you've done, or just a gig that you remember back in the day, or just some type of memory you've had with music. What's one really good one that you think about?
Man, this was like years ago. I think I was like 15, 16 years old in this band called In Modern Times. Like 15, 16 years old, like playing in bars over in Seaford, Delaware. There's this little spot called CC22. And they held this event, like 93.5 The Beach was, you know, doing the whole thing. Like, it was broadcast all around, like, you know, on the airwaves and whatnot. And we went to go play the show, and it kind of made me mad because the other guitarists couldn't make it. You know, stuck at work, couldn't get out type deal. So it was only 4 people. Me, the singer, my brother on bass, and my buddy Derek on drums. And somehow, even without that extra guitarist, we still just rocked the shit out of that show, dude. Like, everybody's going nuts. People, like, just hooting, hollering, going absolutely batshit crazy over the music we created. Like, it was no covers, no nothing like that. Just that feeling that all these people are this hyped over songs a bunch of, you know, stoner kids just came up with. It was just, I don't know. It got me the sense of euphoria, or, you know,
that's that sense,
feeling.
that's that high feeling I'm talking about. You get literally after playing a show and like everybody's screaming your name and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Not even just that, or just the fact that you just rocked a show and you know, like you nailed like your band. You and your band just had a jive moment, like a connection.
Exactly.
You know, that shit was like. You walk outside, and if it's whether it's cold, whether it's hot, you're outside like fuck, like yeah, that was the shit. I want to live it. That's your freaking moment, man. That's the moment we were talking about where you had that sudden life realization. A band experiences that probably all the freaking time when they have a good show. And, you know, sometimes you have that shitty set where you're left pissed off and like, shit.
Oh, I had plenty of those days.
It's not even that you're mad like, oh, the crowd sucks. It's like, no, dude, you're mad at yourself, man. You feel like you let people down, and you can't look at it like that. You're going to have your good shows and your bad shows, but that feeling you get afterwards, I remember the first one I played, I thought I missed notes and shit. And I remember we played on the radio together one time.
Oh, yeah.
And when we played on the radio, you know how happy we were when we left that shit?
Oh,
like,
dude, that shit was
that shit
point.
was tight. Yo, we were high-fiving and like, you know, and then like, I was telling you, yeah, I messed up on this part. And you're like, I didn't fucking hear it. Like, I didn't hear it. You realize you're the only one that heard it because you're the only one, like,
that
everyone
knew
else.
that happened.
Yeah,
like,
and it's like other people are listening to it. They don't hear that shit. But every time you listen to a recording of a song, you know where you fucked up.
Exactly.
You
know the exact millisecond.
Yeah, you're like, I fucked up here. But it's like, afterwards, when we took pictures, and then next thing you know, we're all posting on our social media and shit. Dude, I had the high feeling for like 3 days after that shit. I was like, yo, I played on the radio. Yo, I wrote my name on a wall. Yo, it's like, you know,
made you feel good.
You're hyped. That's what I loved about it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind being able to do that with like stand-up comedy or just being in a movie, you know? Or even with these podcasts, someone wants me to sign something. It's not that, I guess I have that addiction to being famous, but it's more like I want to be heard, man.
Exactly. It's not necessarily the famous part. You just want to get your message out there or your art out there.
Mm-hmm.
You just want, you know, people to see what you see type deal and feel what you feel, which is freaking amazing.
You know, someone just bought Michael Jackson's journal with all his unwritten works in it and shit for fucking like $4 million or something like that. And it was, you know, it was, or not, I think it was way more than that. But it was like all this stuff he didn't write or produce, and everyone's like, I think there's probably a reason why, because it's probably shit. I'm like, yo, but if you're a diehard fan and you enjoy Michael Jackson, you understand you're getting his creative works that were out of his mind written down on a journal where he's probably on some of that amnesia type medication he was using to go to sleep, type dreams and shit. He's probably tripping out. Like, you probably hear a song like, it's like Thriller, but all you hear is like giraffe noises and shit. And it goes back to what I was saying about the music appreciation class I'm listening to. You know, these videos, there was a bunch of guys playing like keyboard guitars, and it was like ding 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 ding.
Kind of sound like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Annoying, but you're like, what the what is, everyone in the class is like, oh, this shit sucks, like turn this shit off. And then they're looking on the screen, and it's like guys are shooting lasers, and I hear it's bing, like one dude's going and then that beat's going ding 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 ding. But it's like all these different noises, and they're just dancing on the screen like robots wearing suits and shit, and then they're in outer space. It reminded me of like the old Power Rangers where the they're all little blaster effects, and they had the blaster effects and everything in it too. I'm like, this is funny, but I'm not making fun of the art. I'm making fun of because this is what their intention was for. The song was made when music videos were first starting out, like effects and everything. That's as far as you could get was the effects that were default effects on the computer, not all the CGI stuff we have now. Technology. Ridiculous. And the kids, newer generations, aren't going to see it like how I see it. I'm probably the youngest kid out there that isn't part of the older generation that understands the grasp of all this.
Exactly.
Like,
they were grown up on this shit nowadays. So
dude, it's like, getting worse with all these new technology, phones and stuff. And in a way, it's amazing to see how far we can go as a society. But, we're taking some dark roads down to some shit too. I see where people want to become Amish. You know how hard it is for teachers to teach nowadays because their kids, every generation, you get to see second graders and first graders with freaking iPhones.
See,
I had an MP3 player.
I didn't have that.
I had the CD track thing.
Yeah,
man. I didn't have the tape recorder, but I had we put a Linkin Park CD, a Black Eyed Peas CD, freaking. Start walking down the street with those old-ass Sony headphones going, pump it, louder, come on, don't stop. Or Panic at the Disco for me, freaking 9 in the afternoon after playing constant Rock Band. Like, this is as good as music as I can get, just playing guitar on that, putting that shit on medium. Even that was difficult. Freaking trying to move my fingers, I felt like they were turning into, I remember at one point I thought my hand morphed into a spider because it was trying to move all over the neck of the guitar. You're like, God, they're about to break.
That what was it, the orange button or whatever that last button, that was always a stretch. It's like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, you gotta fucking reach down. And you see these guys that are like, they learn the system so well, much like Captain Kirk in Star Trek, where he was able to cheat the system. There's like a computer test that, you know what I'm talking about, right? Star Trek?
Yeah, I know Star Trek.
Okay. Captain Kirk, he beat the space simulator, which was, you would lose every single time. No one could ever win. It was
you're talking about the new, that first new movie, the reboot, or the alternate universe is how they...
Whatever he was talking about, the system is unbeatable, you can't beat it, and he found a way to cheat the system and beat it, okay? That's the same thing when you see those guys play Guitar Hero, like Devil Went Down to Georgia on Expert.
Exactly, not even bad.
They get 100% is because they said, have you seen Dragon Ball Z theme song on Facebook? The dude does the song to it. It starts off like dun 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 dun. Next thing you know, there's like 100 buttons at once, and it's like every single one's like 100, and they're just going, and he's getting perfect, and he's just annihilating. Like, he ends up not even strumming down here. I can't even do it fast enough. But he's down here, like, I can't even move my fingers fast enough. They just won't. It physically won't happen. But it's like he's sitting there going, but he knows the system. He's played it so many times. It's like it's a routine.
Gotcha.
And it's the same thing when people say practice doesn't make perfect; it makes permanent.
Very true. That muscle
memory. If you learn
memory.
something the wrong way, obviously it's going to be wrong. But it's
the entire time.
But if you're creating something, you practice it. Like, there's a difference between seeing a live performance and then hearing a recording. Hearing a recording's nice because You know, it's
You
like
can have that perfection.
that perfection that you're looking for. But I would much rather go to a live performance.
Because you feel the true nature, the true vibe of whatever that band's playing.
And it's also like, if they fuck up, you know, you're there for that.
Exactly. You
And
get
a
to
lot of
witness
times,
history.
I went to a Pepper concert, and the dude stopped halfway through the song and started talking to the crowd. Now I was high off my ass, but he was talking to me, and it felt like he was talking for like 35 minutes. And he jumped in the crowd, started taking selfies with everybody. And they hadn't even finished off the song. I totally forgot about the song. I was like, oh my god, I gotta get a selfie with this guy. He ran through the whole crowd. 20 minutes later, gets back up on stage. Picks up right where he left off. Everything, exact note and everything. I'm like, holy lights hit at the right time. I was like, oh my god. I thought someone just pistol whipped me in the dick. I was like, damn.
You felt all that.
It's like literally when they say like, you know, I'm creating this music to have sex with your ear pussies. Like that. It's like, that's a fucking thing, man.
What the fuck?
It's like Scott Pilgrim when they're playing the freaking Battle of the Bands thing and they got their music
I never saw that movie, man.
on Netflix.
I know I'm a horrible human being. I'm gonna beat myself later.
Bet you haven't seen The Big Lebowski either.
Oh no, I have seen.
Good man.
Dude.
He inspired a religion. That got me.
Dude,
into
I'm actually
bowling.
ordained priest in the Church of Dudism.
Can you like what is it? What can they do? They can do something where they can bring you into the religion. I want to be.
No,
part of it.
dude, you can go into religion yourself, man. Like,
You said you're an ordained priest.
Yeah,
Can
dude.
you bless me on this podcast? Bless me right now.
you want me to bless you
I want to be blessed under the of the
in
church.
the name of Dudism, in the name of all white Russians. I bless thee.
Is that really the thing?
I don't know, I just made it up. That's Dudism, man. Just go with how you feel. Relax
feel
and chill.
holy.
There you go, man.
The dude abides, my bro.
Always.
That got me into bowling. Did you know that?
Really?
I was averaging 200 a game. I would bowl at 3. You know, bowling alleys, the one in Ocean City on 71st Street, stays open until 3 o'clock in the morning.
We might have to make, a
Let's
night trip
do it,
over to
dude.
bowling, dude.
Me and my buddy would go bowling at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then they close for 4 hours and open up at 7.
Yeah, we might have to make that a thing here soon.
The only thing that's not open that early is the freaking restaurant in the thing. But that bowling alley is open, dude. You don't understand.
How close is the Wawa from there? Because then we can,
It's not even like, I think it's like 30 streets down.
Dude, perfect. We go get Wawa, we go bowling.
Hoagie Fest, bro.
Can't go wrong with Hoagie
Dude,
Fest.
I'm down to go bowling, man. You don't understand how bad
Let's
I want
do
to go
it.
bowling. Just hit me up, dude.
Hell yeah, man.
You know, it's crazy. Like,
Used to be on a league back in the day.
you used to be on the league?
Yeah, over in Seaford.
I had my own bowling ball in the garage.
What?
I bought it at a thrift store for $1.
Dude, these thrift stores, man, that's another thing we gotta get.
I gotta
on, dude.
show you this stuff, dude. I buy CDs. Like, I bought, like, one of my favorite bands is 9 Mile Roots. They're a reggae band.
Mhm.
And I bought one of their CDs from there. And it was the only one I didn't have. And I was paying, like, $8 for these CDs. And they sent me their new one before it got, like before it was made. They sent me a new one, like, before they were selling it. And they sent me the idea for the song a year before they even made the album. And they had called it Skittles. And I was like, is this song called Skittles? I was like, is it because you're getting a taste of the rainbow when you listen to it? And he's like, no. He goes, it's just the name we were thinking of. He goes, but if you think of a song name for it, let me know. I was like, it sounds like you should call it Paper. And he goes, that's actually what we were all thinking, calling it Paper. Because the song goes, if I was paper, would you roll me up and fold me up?
See, that sounds a little bit better than, naming it Skittles when you're talking about,
Yeah, but it's like, he's talking about, like, it's just crazy because I had that song and then I was like, you should name it Paper. And he's like, that's what we were thinking. The next thing you know, you look on the back of the track, Paper. You're like, holy shit, like, I was there. And they're, like, one of my, like, favorite, like, bands, basically, too. And it's cool because they're local. I actually know the singer, I messaged him, would you want to be on my podcast? He messaged me back, dude, I love podcasts because we're going to be down summer and spring. I'll get the whole band on, 9 Mile Roots. I'm like,
there you go.
I had to, like, it wasn't difficult, but it was a little challenging doing the Swell Fellows, having 3 at once. Imagine 9 people. But the fact is, like, even when I did the Swell Fellows, they were all, knew when to talk. They all took time and stuff. It was like, 9 people, how is that gonna work? And most of my questions, like, that I think of, like, everything's improv, basically. Like, I just think of it, it's stuff I want to ask you. So it's like, but a lot of them are narrowed down to, like, what's your personal experience with music? And, like, there is, like, a set kind of thing with that.
Mm.
But how the hell do you ask a band that?
That is, I don't know.
It was a little difficult with the Swell Fellows. Like, what's your biggest band memory that you all have? Like, what's your favorite band snack?
My favorite band snack
Like, do you ever have a meal like that you
have to have after you play a gig or something
I wouldn't
like
say
that?
after or you have to have it, but like there's something like before practice I have this, or is there something that you are fond of before you play or after you play, like a nice beer or something?
If we're going to be serious, this is going to sound so freaking stupid, but
A lot of people do Taco Bell.
mine was actually IHOP, man.
What?
Like every time. This is back when you could smoke in IHOP too. Okay, when I was,
You
that
used
whole
to be
show I
able to
told you
smoke in bowling alleys. You
Yeah,
can't do that
exactly.
shit anymore.
Hell no, people get pissed. My oxygen, fuck your oxygen. But
I can't smoke my ass.
for real, pussies.
doesn't like Marlboro. He only prefers Camels.
Well, go to the goddamn desert if you like camels,
Yeah,
bitch.
exactly.
Get out
It's
of my
like
IHOP. But yeah, we would go to IHOP after like a lot of these shows when playing and everything in bars back in the day. We go to IHOP and I always would get this big ass freaking breakfast burrito in the middle of the night.
Like a ritual?
Exactly. Like every time we got done playing, we'd always go to IHOP and I always get this freaking burrito. It just, or not, it's kind of like a burrito, omelets, whatever. But it was just the comfort of it. It was like, we did a good show, just with my reward to myself.
Now your body probably like is so in tune to having it. It's like
Oh, if I don't, I go through
craves it
withdrawal.
afterwards. Yeah, it's like afterwards. It's like you're starting to taste it. Like before you can get off stage, like you taste that burrito.
For real.
It's like every time I pass by the high school, I think of my days. My whole senior year, my buddy picked me up from school, and he dropped me off at my house in Ocean City. But afterwards, we would either get like Slurpees, or we would get if it like basically every single day after class, we'd go and get Chick-fil-A. We'd pull up, drive through, get we both get chocolate milkshakes, cherries. I would throw mine out. Then we get a number 3 meal, and it's a spicy chicken sandwich.
Is that the one with the pepper jack cheese on it and everything?
No, it's just a regular
Okay,
spicy
gotcha.
chicken sandwich, and with fries. And we sit there, extra Chick-fil-A sauce, sit in that back parking lot and like behind the wine rack,
Just
and then
munch out.
every single time, man. And it's like every time I pass by the high school, I taste the spicy chicken.
It's just, savory. Like, it's right in the back of your tongue. It's like, I want it right now.
It's that imprinting, bro. It's like there's stuff that happens to you, whether it's good or bad in your childhood experiences, but they create some leftover remnants of like that instill you into life forever.
Even if you don't realize it, it's there.
Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, like when it comes down to the fact of like just being an overall good person, but it's like there's those things, where if you. I remember my childhood snack, whenever I played video games, I get a sudden craving for it, even though I haven't had it forever. Microwave taquitos.
Oh my god, hell yes.
You throw 30 on a little dinner tray type like thing that your mom would put turkey on to serve for Thanksgiving. I remember my brother was like, "You want some taquitos?" I was like, "Yeah." I knew to get the Xbox controllers out, set them on the table. He would grab that thing after putting it in the microwave for 5 minutes, and we were both lazy as shit. We don't even know how to cook. I didn't know how to cook a Hot Pocket properly until freaking last semester in class. I did a speech on Hot Pockets, and I figured out that the cooking sleeve that comes with it cooks the freaking Hot Pocket.
You never cook with the sleeve on?
I thought it would throw up the microwave.
No.
No.
If it was like aluminum
No.
foil, yeah.
You know when you take a bite into a Hot Pocket, it's super hot,
Mhm.
and then the inside's kind of cold. You're like, what the hell? If you leave it in the microwave for 2 minutes after it's already over with, like the time you cook,
it cooks
it
it.
crisps the fucking inside.
Hey, that's some crazy shit. That's why the inside's always like that silver looking shit.
I thought that was going to blow up the microwave. I never did it like that. What about those savages that heat up a Pop-Tart or heat up a Hot Pocket and put it on a napkin?
Hey man, I'm a savage. I don't like doing dishes, so I'll grab a
Paper
freaking...
plate!
Well, you ain't got no paper plates.
Dude, the cheese getting stuck on the freaking napkin.
I know it's a pain in the ass,
And then
but
you get your
it's
peeling
still better
off the
than doing
napkin
dishes.
off your Hot Pocket, and next thing you know, there's remnants of the napkin on the Hot Pocket.
Well, see, that's why you always have that sleeve too, man. Like what I would do, I just take the napkin and wrap like the bottom end that's still in the sleeve, so that way you can hold the sucker while it burn the shit out of you. Eat it till it's down to where it can stuff all the way inside that pocket, then you lay it down.
You're a savage and a half.
Hey, man, dude, I hate doing
Do you
dishes.
crap in the shower as well?
Nah.
I'll take a shower afterwards, but not, I won't do it at the same time.
No. Well, first, never shit after you shower, because you might as well just, restart your whole day at that point.
Dude,
You shit before you shower.
you don't understand how much I've been dealing with that today. Like, I took a shower, like, all right, I just took the biggest crap in my life. Never gonna have to ever
Shit again.
for the rest of the day. And the next thing you know, like 95 minutes after my shower, I'm all clean, got my fresh clothes on. It's like, oh God.
Here it goes. At that point, you might as well, just
Change
go
into
back to bed.
sweatpants and just be like, fuck it. And I'll start over tomorrow.
Exactly. Your day's ruined.
But it's crazy to think, dude, that, there's all this, like, yeah, we crack our jokes about, like, life and stuff, but it's like, dude, when we heated up those taquitos and we knew, like, that instilling of memory and imprinting, like, it's fascination. I just learned about this in psychology. Like, there's all these theories on behavioral and psychodynamic and, like, all these stuff where it's, like, it's your genetics that create, your certain characteristics and mental illnesses and all this stuff. Not only genetics, there's so many things. It's constantly being proved wrong. It's like a trade school. Like, there's constantly new stuff coming out that's bringing out the old stuff and making stuff irrelevant. There's always stuff you have to constantly be learning. It's like, yes, there is behavioral stuff in it too. It does happen that, a lot of your passions, wants, goals, dreams, all this stuff, and all these tastes, all this stuff, it's all, genetic. That's a fact as well. But there's also cultural influences. There's, just being your environment, basically.
A product of your environment.
Yeah, it's like some stuff's learned, some stuff's not made. Like, me and my brother, we're related, but at the same time, we have different dads. So, like, I liked having my bagel in the microwave with butter on it.
Mm-hmm.
And heating it up only for 20 seconds where it's just nice and soft and biting into it like that. Then, my brother, toaster, sour cream. Or not sour cream, cream cheese.
Oh, I was about to say sour cream. Holy hell!
I remember, like, my brother's like, you just don't ever want to try it. You don't want to try new things. No, I just don't like the taste of it. He goes, yeah, whatever. I bet if you tried cream cheese, you'd like it. My grandfather made a bagel, put cream cheese on it, told me it was butter, and I guess he didn't know. He got me mixed up with my brother. Which grandparents do that? They call you, but I mean, like, mess up that.
Whatever one you are, come here.
Yeah. Well, he gave me a cream cheese bagel, and in that house, we have to eat everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can't let it waste. So I'm sitting there biting the bagel, and I was biting just around it like a circle. And next thing you know, there's just the middle where all the cream cheese was, and I'm like, I couldn't eat the,
couldn't eat it.
cream cheese, and I'm like, I can't eat it. It's not bagel tastes funny. It's not right. It's not right.
Mm-hmm.
And he would be like, yeah, what are you going to sit there and eat? You're going to sit there and eat it. He wasn't being a jerk. That's just, he grew up in the Depression. He knew not to waste food and everything.
Exactly.
My grandmom came home and goes, why did you just eat the outside of the bagel? I was like, it doesn't taste right. And she knows I like butter. And she sniffs it. She goes, this is cream cheese. And then yells at my grandfather. He goes, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I thought he liked cream cheese. No, that's Michael. It's like, it's so hard to, even for them, like, to be able to manage. But at the same time, it's like, that fact that my taste buds knew, that's not butter.
Exactly.
That's not butter. You don't like that taste.
That taste is not
what
for
butter
you.
are you using? It's the same thing when I go up to my grandparents' house in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
They're all from Baltimore. They use Royal King syrup. That lion syrup tastes like shit.
Compared to Aunt Jemima's.
Yes, but then they see Aunt Jemima's as a cheap knockoff brand, and then they like the Royal. They'll only do that. It's also when they put, like, when I see my dad put ketchup on his eggs. God,
that is the most.
That's
evil.
a Baltimore thing.
That's a savage thing. Okay,
Oh.
I'm sorry. Ketchup is, in my opinion, just a shit condiment.
I like ketchup, but he's basically like, if you get a bowl, fill it up with ketchup, and then give him like a fork with an egg on it, he's just dipping it in there. I'm like, I was like that with honey mustard at a point.
Me and Skip have issues now.
I would eat chicken tenders and french fries, and I would drown that thing in half a bottle of that Ken's Steakhouse honey mustard syrup.
See, that stuff's decent. I like honey mustard.
Dude, no, like, you don't even understand. I would go through like, my grandma would stop by the thin bottles. She'd go to BJ's.
And she'll get, like, the freaking...
She'd get the giant freaking restaurant size, like, tub of it. And I would be dumping, like, me and my brother, whenever chicken tenders or something we put out. Bam! Straight to the honey mustard. But it's like what I was saying, I want to get back to the taquitos thing. When we broke out those Xbox controllers, that imprinting. Like, but me and my brother always had this, like, this deposition or whatever it's called, to taste the taquitos. And, like, those microwavable stuff. Because that's what we use whenever we're going into video games. I remember buying those dollar store sandwiches from Dollar Tree. My dad would grab those chicken sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
Those chicken sandwiches and the cheeseburgers. They're $1, dude. And it's a
they
meal.
are amazing.
And, yeah. And my dad's like, don't you want me to cook you a steak or a cheesesteak or something?
Like,
No, I'm going to heat this up, go upstairs, start playing video games. But when we're eating those taquitos, we would work our way from the right. My brother would be on the left. He'd work his way from the left side in. I'd work my way from the right side in on that turkey dinner plate with all the taquitos lined up around thing. And you noticed that when you messed up, because as slowly you start getting more towards the middle, they would be soggy and cold. Because we didn't rotate them in the microwave. The only person that did it right was my mom. Would be like, why don't you guys just heat them in the oven? That takes too long. We're trying to play video games, trying to eat taquitos. We're hungry now. We want it now. We want this stuff. She goes, okay, well, let me know when you guys are thinking about eating, and then I'll put them in the oven for you. And she would sit there and rotate them and take care of them that way. It was a giant-ass experience, the crisp of that taquito. But we're like, I don't give a shit. Like, you know, it's taquitos. Like,
exactly.
It says microwave on the box. You put it in the microwave.
For real. Right. Now, if it said do not microwave, well, I'll probably still try a microwave because, you know, adventurous.
And everyone's like, they just got on a tangent about microwavable foods, and they totally went off on how the music started off with the kickoff of Music Inspiration. The podcast started off with this musical inspiration and creative masterpiece.
And now we're not arguing, just on a tangent about taquitos.
Wait for it. It's all connected. You know how? Taquitos. Think of it like music. Are you going to be fast and create this jumbled up thing that some people are going to like? Yeah, that's it might be hot at the touch, but cold at the essence. Or are you going to go after and take the time to craft a masterpiece? People that write books and don't even publish it, but just keep looking at it for years and years and years and years, and then next thing you know, they let it out when they finally feel like they've mastered everything. And everyone's like, when's the second edition coming out?
Never.
That took me 40 years to fucking produce. It's like the same thing with a song. You know, one night you get a song written at 2 a.m, you get it done written in an hour. But then you keep it on your computer for a year. Keep it on there for 2 years. Keep it on there for 3 years. And you just keep adding stuff to it, changing little details, making it into this masterpiece that you eventually release, and it's a hit wonder. And people wonder, how long did it take you to make that? Like, can you make another one? I'm looking for the next one. Be like, dude, one and done, bro.
Exactly.
But it's like heating up taquitos in the oven. You know? It takes a longer time, but
it's worth it. Does
it taste sweeter? Does it taste better? Does it taste hotter? Does it taste crispier? Whatever you're heating up. Whatever, how long it takes. Well, I don't know how people can marinate their chicken for a day and then eat it the next day for dinner. And then I understand with the whole taste aspect of it. God, it's like the same thing when people say they age wine. It's like, you're going to wait 30 years to open up that bottle? Okay, well, can I fast forward to 30 years, please? Because I would like it now.
Exactly. I want to get a little tipsy.
Yeah, but it's like, that's how you got to think of everything. Is artwork worth more when it's been developed longer? Whether it's been, developed and then the guy dies, is it worth more? Obviously.
Hey, it happened for Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, it's been proven, but is music better with age? Is art better with age? Is things better with age? What is it? Or is it like the fact of the process of making it? Is it luck that a guy can make a number one hit song with only a beat that goes bump, 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 and then he's going, I am rapping in this microphone. Okay? Is that the age generation where people just, that's what we want? Is our brain so dumbed down to where we need something like that to make us a number one hit? Or hearing Jimi Hendrix all along the Watchtower and that guitar riff, and you're like, God, like I can feel him. He's crying in this song, but it's not cries of pain, it's cries of joy.
Well, that was a cover, right?
What?
That was a cover.
Yeah, but still.
It's still amazing.
The fact that he can create that inspirational spark. It's like, shit.
Oh, yeah.
And
he took that song to a whole new world.
It's the same thing when I'm talking about podcasting. I love how mine's a mobile recorder, man, because I can go out and get these stories from people. I want to interview someone at a bowling alley at 3 a.m. and hear them. Imagine if I'm sitting... Have you ever just been somewhere and be like, holy shit, that's, someone famous or something. Like, oh my God, I just ran into him. My teacher I podcasted with on New Year's Day ran into Tracy Morgan in New York on a last-minute trip. Like, let's just go to New York. They went up to New York and in a parking garage ran into Tracy freaking Morgan.
That is awesome.
And shot the shit with him and got photos and stuff. And then imagine if you're sitting at a bowling alley at 3 a.m. and whether you're tripping or not.
And you see John Goodman.
John Goodman, man, what's up? Or the freaking dude, man. Oh my God.
I think I'd, worship
Imagine
him
you're in a
just like
bowling
if
alley.
Jesus came back or something like that. I'd be like, oh, my Messiah. Here's a white Russian.
Right on, man. Right on. The dude abides.
The dude abides.
Like, or you meet the stranger.
The stranger.
The guy,
Oh, yeah, the guy who plays the dad in the ranch.
yeah, oh shit.
I can't remember his name to save my
It's
life, but he's so
Sam
famous.
something. It's Sam something. Sam Elliott.
Yeah, there it is.
Sam Elliott, like, keep on abiding, dude. And then, like, he's like, all right, and he keeps walking and goes, I didn't like the part where Donnie died. Like, that deep voice, like, imagine you ran into Morgan Freeman at freaking Walmart. Hey, I got my podcast recorder on me. I can get that. Or imagine you're having some experienced trip or something, and you see the ghost of Kurt Cobain. Can
Now,
shoot
I would
the
want to
shit
see
with
the
you?
ghost of him because what if his, face isn't, like, back together? What if,
All right. I'm
Just
pretty
be a
sure
empty
if
face.
the spirits are real, it's going to be like the Jedi. I don't think we saw Anakin Skywalker burned up like he was in Darth Vader when he died. But
Hey, man, that's when he, got back to the good side. You got to figure Kurt Cobain, man, he was well, actually, I really think he was murdered, but...
that's what I say too, man. There's a little fishy evidence going on. Some conspiracy theories we could be throwing out of there.
Oh, sorry, I had a call.
Aliens invented Egypt, and Bigfoot is real. He's also a rock star. Jack Black made me think of Bigfoot in a whole different way when he had Tenacious D, Sasquatch. Dude, that was a good band, man. They got some good songs. They got that one song, Low Hanging Fruit.
That shit's hilarious, man.
Or Kielbasa.
Kielbasa. Wow.
My kielbasa sausage has got to perform. And everyone's like, I remember him from School of Rock. Dude, if you listen to his song Double Team, he's talking about banging a girl with his guitar player, Kyle.
Oh, Jesus.
Dude, it is funny as crap. He said, Kyle licks the feet and not go after your mouth. When he just starts going, it's like, oh my God. And they made a song called Wonder Boy. They made a song called Diesel Boss and all that. And then they made the song Lee about that pizza delivery guy, Lee, in the movie. They said, skinny dipping in a sea of Lee. I want Lee to bend on both knees. Like, it's a freaking popular song. You hit the charts fast. And they got a song called Rise of the Phoenix talking about how people say that the D is done. And it's like, but the D will rise again. It's a double entendre.
All about their dick.
Exactly. They're fighting three-headed dragons and shit in their music video, and they're slowly losing money budgeting in the video. So, like, it becomes like really good CGI, and then it becomes like green screen where shit on stage is falling off. Like, you're seeing props and stage workings and all that, and it all gets covered back up and all this stuff. And it's like, it's crazy. Like, that's inspiration. Like, people that enjoy, like, humor and stuff. Like, I like that late comedy stuff, My Netflix, I always tell everybody, my history is the weirdest thing if you ever saw my history. It's documentaries, like, Untold Truths of America. Then there's, like, The Ranch. And there's Gotham. Then there's, like, all these, like, weird shows. Like, what the hell is he watching at 2 o'clock in the morning? Oh, a comedy special. Joe Rogan or Tom Segura or someone like that.
Oh,
it's
you're
like,
talking about the Triggered... Yeah, Joe Rogan Triggered?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that fucking
Or Ron White's special on there. You ever seen...
that new one he had.
Look up... That one's a good one, man.
Yeah,
He's talking about geese and shit. You gotta look up that one. And he was talking about, like guys in Iraq having all these different wives and stuff. He goes, because girls are so covered in tarps, you can only see out of one fucking eye hole. You gotta marry a whole bunch of them before you know what you're getting under there. I'm like, that shit's hilarious. Y'all have you holding your ribs. And it's like... Dude, I got off the freaking mobile recorder thing again where I'm like, you could be sitting at a table with John Lennon. The guy, Christopher Ryan, read a book about someone, this is actually a thing, you can change your genetic biome. Like, if you wanted to get the genetic bio makeup of a hunter, you need to, like, flush out your genetic makeup with their genetic makeup. So, like, this one dude wrote a book about biogenetic makeup where he tried to get the genetic makeup of a hunter by shoving or flushing water up his ass or blasting water up his ass with this
Jesus.
like certain type of Africa like I think it's like water type of pollution type thing. It was out in the news recently about it too, but he wrote a book on it. And he got massively sick and everything, got like all this stuff. Cause
he just pumped African water up his ass.
Yeah, but you got to think, when you're in the water and you're swallowing some of it, some of it gets down your throat whether you like it or not.
Exactly, unfortunately.
And it's like you're getting that. But imagine you did that in Africa. You're going to get a whole genetic biome. After a while, you're going to start developing how these people are developing, where their body's not getting certain nutrients are being taken out. Well, he wrote a book on it. And Christopher Ryan was reading the book. Then he goes to Australia. And this is not where the guy who wrote the book was from at all. The guy was from America, where he wrote the book and everything.
Yeah.
But he was talking about his experience. Well, Christopher Ryan, the guy who read the book, had his mobile recorder on him because he does podcasts. Well, he was sitting at a bar talking about this one dude was chugging a shot or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, you're trying to change your genetic biome makeup," as like a joke. And then the dude's like, "Oh," and starts laughing. He goes, "Oh, you know about biogenetic makeup?" And Christopher Ryan goes, "Yeah, I'm actually reading this book about it." The dude taps him on the shoulder, points to his friend, and goes, "My buddy's the one that wrote that book." He goes, "What?" It was the dude that wrote the book the guy was reading.
Oh, shit.
He goes, "Wait a minute, I have one question for you. You blasted African water up your ass?" And he goes, "Everyone always says that when they find out I'm the one that wrote the book." And he goes, "Yeah," and he starts explaining it, but like, the fact that he shot a podcast after that weird encounter, a 3-hour podcast, and ended up hanging out with the guy for a couple days. The dude was reading his book, and then a month later goes to Australia
and runs into
the guy.
That is freaking amazing.
And he had his recorder on him, and it's the same one I'm using right now to record this.
Dude, man, you gotta carry that thing with you all
I'm
the time.
saying I have a case for it. It's like it's like something you want to keep in your car, like you keep your wallet in your car. So you don't go and spend money on Amazon at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're fucking shopping away.
Well, that's the best idea. You get yourself a glass of wine, you light some candles, and you go right on Amazon.
Dude, my shopping cart, I gotta show you, I got a shrimp pillow you put around your neck. It's for comfort. I sent it to my mom as a joke for something I wanted for Christmas, and she bought it for me. Dude, I use that shit when I'm laying down, playing games and shit.
Everything.
It is so handy, and then I'm taking a dump. That thing is so freaking comfortable. You're getting a religious experience with the white porcelain queen in there.
Hey, man, just don't, sit there too long. Next thing you know, that
your damn legs are asleep. You try and stand up, and you're hitting face first into the wall.
Well, that, and also, hemorrhoids, brother. Don't sit on that queen too long.
Oh, dude, I probably got the biggest hemorrhoid. I've actually had a hemorrhoid before. It's not fun.
Oh, I believe it, man. Luckily, I've never had to deal with a hemorrhoid.
Try doing that and then running on the treadmill.
Fuck that.
Dude, I felt like I was holding a beanbag, and then it was popping in between my legs. Like, it was hard when your legs.
Ow.
I don't want to delve into that, but if you look to your left, you see that turtle lamp?
Yeah.
50 cents at a thrift store.
Damn, man, I should have went to the thrift store
and
because I actually got the same one for my niece for Christmas. It was like $15 fucking at Walmart.
And it lights up.
Yep.
Isn't that nuts?
Oh, dude, I love this.
And I went to a Hawaiian thrift store, and guess what I got? That real conch. You can blow into that.
Really?
I was in a thrift store in Hawaii. I picked up that for, I think it was like $45. They have a flea market. It's they have like a soccer or football stadium.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of bums in Hawaii, mostly because the weather's nice and shit. But you see the most beautiful graffiti in Hawaii, dude. I've saw so many good revelations. Like, people pay people to paint stuff on their apartment buildings and everything. But I paid. I think my grandma got me that for $40. That was the one thing she got me. And they got my brother a Hawaiian flag for $50. And
Damn.
He just wanted something to hang up on his wall. He's got a bunch of the flags. I got flags all in my room too. But it's you can blow into that. I was sitting on our hotel balcony blowing into it, and it was like a tribe call. It does that shit. But you gotta know how to blow into it.
Exactly. It takes some time and practice.
Can't just
well, see, there you go.
That
could be your new musical instrument right there, man.
I played the melodica. I did not enjoy it because you have to focus on blowing into it and hitting notes at the same time, and you're like, oh my god, especially when you're stoned out of your mind.
That shit is so hard.
Dude, see, my problem with marijuana is I got so baked all the time I had to focus on not dying and then focusing on oh yeah, I gotta breathe. Imagine trying to play an instrument when you're that high. You don't know where to put your fingers. You're trying to remember where to put your fingers. Next thing you know, you got to remember to be breathing at the same time to play the music.
Well, you got to figure, I played in the band with you and your brother, and you know how brother gets sometimes.
Oh, dude, that's where, I was trying to keep up with him. I never smoked as much as him. Next thing you know, I'm watching Friday 1,000 times on the couch while eating a giant salad bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Fruity Pebbles, and I was skipping school like a mofo.
Oh, see, the skipping school part ain't cool, but the whole,
Alright, I wasn't skipping, but I was fake being sick. Parentheses on fake.
Is that the same thing?
I don't know. It got me out. After a while, they were like, you have 100 absence.
It's like, god damn.
You gotta take the final. I don't know shit that's on the final.
Oh, Google, bro. Google.
Quiznotes, bruh.
Hey, that works too.
But at the same time, my brother spent, I think, like $5. Picked up an artist I never even knew existed, but I used to watch a TV show all the time. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Really?
Will Smith made albums I didn't even know about at this
Really?
age, dude.
You really thought that he only did this one
Oh
song?
my god, I knew he like rapped. I didn't know he had an album, and we'd find it in Hawaii for $1. And then we were listening to it driving around Hawaii, and I remember he's got the one song his grandma yelled at him about that he ended up taking it off and stopped singing it because he said the bitch word in it. He never cusses in his songs, but he cussed in his song called You Saw My Blinker, Bitch.
Really? Will Smith wrote?
Yes. And he's talking about an car accident he was in a 5.0 Mustang where an old lady hit his car. He said, I was swerving left, I was swerving right. She was still tailgating me too damn tight. To the left lane, I tried to switch then. You saw my blinker, bitch. Now here's bump, 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 bump.
That'll be an awesome cover to do.
Dude,
just because
that song makes you think of Will Smith in a whole new light,
exactly.
bro.
Because I'm used to hearing, parents just don't understand.
No, not even in a bad way. But he's like, he goes, I get to court. And he goes, no, it was October the 4th. That's when we got our date in court. You won't believe my face when this lady came in and she was wearing a neck brace. I jumped up. I said, you must be joking. Come on, judge, her neck ain't broken. And he goes, boy, you're gonna be trouble. Aren't you one of them damn rap singers? Yeah. And then I gave him the finger. Judge hold me contempt of court for giving him the finger and things of that sort. And
what the
dude, it's all about this girl.
Will Smith's trying to go gangster.
This old lady comes in after hitting Will Smith in the car accident. She was in trouble, holding her neck. And he goes, but after he got hit, he was like, I jumped out of the car. I was hot, ready to explode. And he goes, then I looked and I saw him or something. He saw the denture or the lady's dentures came up and got stuck in the dash. And he goes, she started holding my neck, lady. You can't sue. And it's like, it's your fault. You caused all this. You saw my blinker, bitch. And he played it to his grandma, and his grandma's like, no, and made him take it off the album. And he never cussed in another song. But I was like, I'm sorry, I haven't listened to that song in years, so it's like I was pulling all that out of my ass.
Hey, man,
but it's like,
it's
dude,
so good.
His freaking raps, like, oh my god, like that was awesome. Listening to that was like I found like a journal covered in dust. Like I went like Indiana Jones and Temple of the Lost Ark or something, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, Raiders of the
Hell
Lost Ark, like blowing the dust off some records and shit. That was something I listened to. I was like, damn.
See, now when I get back home and everything, I gotta look that up, dude, because that sounds too damn good.
Dude, that song, Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble, are good ones. Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble.
Well, I could have told you that all the way back in freaking, elementary school.
Yeah, but, like, you hear these songs like shit. Like, they're people just like us creating music, and that's an inspirational thing. And I believe, like, if you're taking every step to go towards your goal, and, dude, I have faith in you 100%. Jack, Ron White didn't get famous until he was in his 50s, man.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So he was in his older
doing
age.
the comedy thing for a while.
He gave up and moved to Mexico, and you know who pulled him out of it?
Jeff Foxworthy.
Jeff Foxworthy. You know he has his own tequila company called Number Juan Tequila. Or
Ron White does?
Ron White. Called Number Juan. Now, is that racist? I don't know.
A little bit, but I want to taste the racism, I guess, because that sounds like a good-ass wine.
But like I'm saying, like, there are people that, they don't get their start until later in life. And it's like that song by Revolution, Courage to Grow. It goes, whether you're at the age of 40, I hope you find the courage to grow.
Exactly.
Because you're all going to find whatever it is, whether it's now or later. Hopefully it's sooner than later, but, stick with it. Because life gets better, and, I can see you, even if you don't want to get famous off music, man. I enjoy seeing you play, dude. When I play with you, even though I don't really go out to a lot of live concerts anymore, man, I'd love to come out and see you some night. Now that I'm 21, I can do that.
Exactly.
I walked in the bar the other day thinking they were going to ask me for an ID.
Didn't even bother checking your ass.
It wasn't even that. Like, I went to a bar and it was an all-ages concert. I'm like, I haven't even been to an all 21 yet. Well, I can go to a 21 whenever I want. And I go to the bar and ask for a drink. He goes, yeah, what do you want? I'm like, I get a Diet Coke. And he goes, okay. And I'm like, and also look at your alcohol selection. I don't drink.
Yeah.
So he's like, looks at me like, okay, and just hands me the menu. And I'm like looking at him like, oh, okay. And he probably would have asked me an ID if I would have asked to buy one.
But nothing looked fancy
I was just
or good to
looking
you.
like shit. Like I don't plan on drinking. I don't enjoy that. You know what I mean? I don't need that to have fun at a concert like a lot of people do. I'm not saying it doesn't give it the extra little like
a little
story,
more fun.
the experience. It's like when you take a road trip with your band and the bus tire gets flat and you're broke down for 3 days. That's a freaking story. You're gonna hate your life then trying to make it to that gig. But once it's all over, like a year's past or something, you're going to be like, damn, remember that time we were all driving down? And, the Swellfellow was talking about, we were driving in Virginia, got stuck there for 3 days, and there was this guy named Carter who was like like in the back country, like they didn't know what technology was. And like Carter, like, was the weirdest guy, creepiest dude in the world, thought they were going to get killed, and they're stuck there for 3 days with their band broke it down, missed out on their gig and stuff. They laugh about it now, but they weren't laughing then. It's like those are those experiences you develop with your band. Same thing with writing a process of music. I believe we all need our human connection in this world. So it's not completely, even if you're comfortable being introvert, you still got to be at a point where you got to find a way to connect to people because we all need that connectivity.
Amen to that,
So
bro.
the word to end this on is don't be an asshole. Be a positive person even if someone's an asshole to you. It's same thing. Bob Marley, We all gotta love each other.
One love, bro.
One love. Thanks for being on the podcast, Nick.
Thank you for having me on,
Nate.
brother. It's been an
I
experience.
said Nick.
No, damn, man. You call me Nick now.
Nate Bowers. Nate Bowers, a wonderful musician who has Murder the Element tattooed on his arm. So whenever he puts his arm up in the thinking position, it's for you to see. So, it scares the shit out of you. He's a wonderful guy and a great guitar player, and I can't wait to actually go see him perform in a bar scenario where I can sit down and be able to enjoy and relax.
I'll buy your first drink.
Flick off I haven't even had that yet, right? And I've been at 21 Rooms a month now.
Hey, man, I got you.
Right on. All right, thanks for being on the podcast, man.
Thank you, brother.